And then we had to get some neighbors to help us move it in. And this is a 25-inch TV. Today, I moved a 65-inch TV by myself.
I love bookkeeping.
Hi, it's Ben Robinson, and today's I Love Bookkeeping episode is all about what does it mean to be a digital 21st century bookkeeper. Okay, I remember 1979. My mom and I, we packed up in her, what'd she have, a Ford Thunderbird, basically a land yacht. I mean, this thing was huge. She used to hotbox in it, and, surprising that I didn't wind up in the nut house. But here I am, and the whole purpose of this is that I remember that we drove to Richway. Now, Richway is not a store that's available anymore, I don't think. It was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we drive to Richway, and we're going to buy a new TV, okay? Now, check this out. What size do you think that it was? And this was like high tech back then. It was 25 inches. And I'm telling you, it took two grown men, all right, I'm probably third grade at this point, it took two grown men to put it in the back of the car. We had to take the trunk and tie it down with twine, right? And then we had to take it home, and then we had to get some neighbors to help us move it in. And this is a 25-inch TV. Today, I moved a 65-inch TV by myself. I have long arms and I can move that. So the whole purpose of explaining this is that we live in a digital age. TVs have changed radically. Okay. We don't live in the analog days. We don't live with a CRT monitor. We have advanced. And that's really what the focus is as we are bookkeeping professionals. What are we doing to make it digital? Okay. Think about the screen resolution on TVs. It used to be 360. And then it went up to 480, and then it was 720, and it's gone on and on and on. Now we have 4K, 5K, all this stuff that's out there. It's crazy. TV, technology, it all progresses. But as bookkeeping professionals, what are we doing to become high def? What are we doing to transform into a digital format? So I want to talk a little bit about this today, because we see all of this stuff about Bookkeepers. We see these apps that are taking over accounting and bookkeeping and payroll. And for me, that's actually great news, because who likes data entry? If you do, I know that there's some weirdos out there, and I totally get it, because there's some things that I like to do that are rote, but it just helps me. But the whole point here is that if we're doing data entry, if we're doing the things that a computer can do better than us right now, then we need to start looking for a way to automate those things so that we can elevate our game. Now, as we look at being a 21st century bookkeeper, at the bottom, everything starts with those transactions. And I don't want to discount how important it is to be really good at recording those transactions in a timely and accurate manner. But built upon those transactions are the financial statements. The three financial statements, not two, the three financial statements. Yes, that includes the statement of cash flows, which we've talked about here on the I Love Bookkeeping show. And we have to present these to our clients in a way that they understand. And that brings us to the first level of a 21st century digital bookkeeper. And that's actually the interpretation. Being able to explain it in a way that your client gets. Now, also in interpretation is to be able to extrapolate and give that back to your client what the financial statements mean. What are they saying? What are the trends? How are things moving? This is the language of business. We've always heard that's what bookkeeping and accounting is. So how are we explaining that? Are we speaking a foreign tongue? So one of the ways in which we isolate and become a digital bookkeeper, a 21st century bookkeeper, is that we learn how to speak to people. We learn how to explain things, to simplify things. We learn how to really talk on their level. And this is really one of the beauties of having a niche, focusing on an industry, because you learn the lingo, you learn the type of personality, you start to get economies of scale, if you will, focusing on that one industry and explaining and learning from one client what you can help another one with. But it all starts with that interpretation. How are you doing that? How are you improving your communication skills? We all need to be doing that, because that's not something that a bot can easily replace. Now, built upon interpretation is advise. Okay, so this is another form of becoming a digital bookkeeper, to becoming a 21st century bookkeeper, where we're actually giving proactive advice, not looking backward at things that have happened, but looking forward. How can we take the current financial statements and how can we affect positive change on the future with what they are telling us? We really need to answer the question, hey, if this were my business, what would I be doing? What would be my tactic? What would be my strategy? How would I make this better? Because look, everybody is in business to earn money. right? We get so much more out of it than just earning money. It's about a mission. For me, it's about a purpose, and I don't really know where life ends and business starts, right? So it's just all together. But your clients are in this to make money. You're in this to make money. That's not, something that we should hide away from. But how can they do more? How can they affect more change? How can they make more money? How can they free up time? What are the minutia things? What are the things that are getting in the way of their business and the goals that they want? And that brings me to an important point. Do you know your clients' goals? Do you understand what it is that they truly want? And not just what it is that they want, but why they want that. Continuing to ask the question, why do you want this? What do you want? Why do you want this? Because that is going to center us on what we should be doing for advising. But it all starts with that one question. Hey, if this were my business and these were the goals that I had that my client shared with me, what would I do different? And that's advise. And all of these things are wrapped up in the digital bookkeeper model, the digital bookkeeper professional, right? We want to make sure that we're doing these things, that we're propelling ourselves, that we're getting away from the transactions, that we're doing all that we can to automate the financial statement preparation so that we can focus on those fun things, interpretation. We can focus on advising. And the very top layer is trusted advisor. And the difference here between trusted advisor and advise, right, is that your client is now coming to you asking for your advice. They are being proactive instead of you being proactive. And they're doing this because you have earned their trust. And that's what it means to be a trusted advisor. So interpret, advise, and becoming that trusted advisor are things that will isolate you and things that distinguish you as a digital bookkeeper. Now, we have the Digital Bookkeeper Association. I want you to head on over to dba.org and check it out because that's what this association is built upon. It's built upon these principles of interpretation, advise, and becoming that trusted advisor. Membership is open. We are excited about extending this brand. We're excited about bringing this to the market so that business owners know that we do things different around here. Is it for everybody? Absolutely not. It's not for most, right? Most people are going to be set in the ways that they want to do things. And if that's you, totally fine, right? That's one of the great things about having your own business. You call the shots. But for everybody else, that small percentage of people who want to transform into that digital bookkeeper, into the 21st century bookkeeper, head on over to dba.org and check it out. So I want to say thank you for listening to this episode of I Love Bookkeeping, and I'll see you on the next show. Head on over to ilovebookkeeping.com. There, you're going to find all of the shows, the notes, and some other great goodies that we have for you there. Now, if you'd like to be a guest on the I Love Bookkeeping show, there is a link that says Be a Guest. Go in there, and we'll walk you through the process of getting on the show. And finally, to discover more about our programs, go to the courses page on the ilovebookkeeping.com site. There you have it, another great episode of I Love Bookkeeping. Thank you for being a proud listener, and thank you for being a bookkeeping professional. Enjoy the rest of your week.
I love bookkeeping. Here's a little shout to all my friends working hard at keeping the books. You want to change your life, you want to grow that biz, it's not as hard as it looks.